Morning again, guys. Right, last Friday it was the 75th anniversary of VE Day, which was Victory in Europe in the Second World War. So I thought it was appropriate that we start some writing based around war this week. And next week it'll take us right up until half term. So the first thing I want you to do is stop me, turn me off, shut me up, and watch the video clip that I've attached. It's a short part of a film. I haven't attached the whole clip. I've trimmed it so you can only see up to the point I want you to watch. But I want you to watch it. While you're watching it, just think about your five senses. Think about, if you were there, what you'd be able to see, hear, feel, taste and smell. You don't need to do anything, just have a little think about those things. Okay, so off you go. Bye. See you in a few minutes. Okay, by now you should have watched the little film clip and hopefully found it quite interesting. So what we're going to be doing today, you can probably see from the board behind me, is we're going to look at using adverbials, prepositions and expanded noun phrases to add detail to our writing. These are all techniques that we've used over and over again. It's all just refreshing and practicing, because this is what makes your writing move on from being good writing to great writing. So the first thing I want you to actually do, and you might need to watch the video again, I've put a picture in your work to give you some prompts, is I want you to think for each sense 2 or 3 points that you want to make about it. So I'll start us off. The best way to do it is to record it is probably in a table. So I'm going to show you mine. So I'm going to have the sense that I'm thinking about, and then I'm going to have description. Right, I'm going to start off with hearing. Now, if I was on that landing beach, what could I hear? Well, I think I can hear bombs falling. I can hear explosions. What else? I want to try and put myself in that situation. Not really, because it wouldn't be a very nice situation to be in. I want to just imagine I'm almost transported there. Oh, I can hear soldiers shouting. They could have been shouting lots of things. They could have been shouting for help. They could have been shouting instructions. But for now, I can hear soldiers shouting. So I want you to do that for each of the senses. So you can do one big table, sight, touch, taste, and so on. And then when you've completed that for the 5 sentences, we're going to convert it into a piece of writing. Okay? Now, it's not going to be a long piece of writing. It's going to be a very short, descriptive piece. It's going to be a real scene setter. Okay? It's going to transport your reader to that landing beach. So I will model what I'm expecting for the hearing, and you would just carry on in whatever order, excuse me, you want to go through the senses until you've got probably 5 sentences, 1 for each sense. You might have 2 for one of them, but a minimum of 1 sentence for each sense, which will give us a short paragraph. So I've got explosions and I've got bombs falling. So I'm going to combine those, and I'm going to have exploding bombs. Okay. Now this has happened. This happened a long, long time ago. So we're going to be writing in the past tense. They could be heard. as they fell. I've got falling as they fell from the sky. I think we can improve on that. Falling, dropping. They were dropping with force though. They weren't just floating in the breeze. Plummeting. I'm going to go for plummeting. Heard. Could be heard as they plumb. I've got to spell this right. Plumb, double M. Otherwise it would be plummeted. As they plummeted. And I want to get in a preposition. I want to get in a prepositional phrase. So think about prepositions as position, location. Where were they falling from? Plummeted. From. The sky above. So let's just stop and read that. Exploding bombs could be heard as they plummeted from the sky above. Now I also want to get this in, and because it's description, I'm happy to have long sentences, so long as they're not comma spliced and only have one main clause. So I could use a subordinating conjunction here so that I can incorporate this as well. So this was happening at the same time as these soldiers shouting. So while. So we've got, it means it's happening at the same time. Soldiers, how do you think the soldiers were feeling? A lot of them were really, really young lads. They were like 17, 18 years old. Probably the first time they'd been away from home, put into this situation. Scared? Homesick? Probably a little bit more than homesick. Terrified. Terrified, I like that one. Terrified soldiers. Right, shouting. Do you know what? I'm going to move away from that. Because if you're that scared, I think they might actually have been praying. Praying for some help. Praying to God to help them. And they wouldn't have been shouting that. So yes, there would have been shouting. But I'm going to focus on maybe some of them praying. Okay? You wouldn't shout that, so muttered. They were desperate. They were mumbling under their breath. They probably weren't very coherent. So there might have been frenzied prayers. They probably weren't going to be well-structured, dear God, prayers. Help me. God, help me. Frenzied prayers. And why were they praying? They were praying to be saved. But we can improve that vocabulary. Salvation. And salvation means to be saved. Right, so I have tweaked that. So I'm going to change that to soldiers praying, just so they match up. And it just shows you can change your mind at any point in your writing. It shows that you're thinking and trying to improve all the time. So let's have a look. Adverbs. Right. So an adverb or an adverbial have the same effect. They answer the why, the when, the where, and the how. So exploding bombs could be heard. When could they be heard? As they plummeted from the sky above. We have got an adverb in there, or an adverbial phrase. Okay? Have we got a preposition? We definitely have. We talked about that. From the sky above. It's to do with position. And you can see the preposition phrase is actually part of our adverbial. So they're not exclusive, they can be part of each other. So we've got prepositions and an expanded noun phrase. Let's have a look. We use them all the time when we're using descriptive language anyway. Here we go. So terrified soldiers muttered prayers. That's what we're saying. But we've expanded that noun, the noun prayers, into frenzied prayers for salvation. So we could just use prayers, but we've built on it. We've expanded it, and it is now an expanded noun phrase. Right, that's what I want you to do. I've included the example in your work for today. As I say, I want you to do it for all 5. So your next sentence, which will just carry on as a piece of writing, could be about sight, it could be about touch. It's up to you what order you do them in for maximum impact. Okay? On the second page of the work, I have put a word bank. So if you're finding it tricky, there's some ideas in the word bank that might just help you along. Okay? Watch the film as many times as you want to. And good luck. See you later. Bye.